don't know, drama from the beginning. But anyways, this is what happens in life.
You made the heavens, planted the earth, gave us stars for direction. But what was it worth if we don't have love? Oh, your perfect love. You filled the oceans, painted the sky, gave us each other. So tell me why, why we're lacking love. Oh, why we're lacking love. Love. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? Yeah, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? My Lord, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, you can prophesy, speak in the tongues you made, but if you don't have compassion, how will they understand that we were made from love? Oh, we were made from love. Oh, yeah. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? My Lord, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? Oh, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Time to spread more love. Oh, oh, oh. Perfect love. Supernatural love. Your love.
Welcome, everybody, to Drama to Dharma. That is such a beautiful, beautiful musical inspiration that was put together by True Osborne, who is a friend of Spirituality Gone Wild. So thank you, Debbie. He put that video together from his living room in New York. His wife has her own show on Spirituality Gone Wild. She's part of Unify, and he did that for us so that we could enjoy some of his music. Since he's not able to play out in public, he's doing stuff from his home. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, amazing just for him to do that out of his living room. So talented. And what a perfect song and video for this week. I like to start by introducing myself. Of course, my name's Josie Herndon. Welcome to Drama to Dharma. I channel Archangel Gabriel, so I give messages from the angelic realm. Today, we have a wonderful guest who I'm going to be bringing up shortly. Her name is Renee Baribeau. But we also start with kind of talking about what's going on. That's the drama to dharma part. Basically, life is drama, Gabriel says, and then, you know, the how do we go from the drama into our dharma? And that's, you know, just being our true authentic selves. So this week has been interesting. Happy New Year's. It's now 2021. Our last show, it was still 2020. It was a year ago, which feels like 10 years ago, but it was really just a week ago. But, you know, if anybody is watching the news, yesterday was quite an interesting day here in the United States. I know we get viewers from around the world, and I'm here in California. So it was a heartbreaking day for me to watch, actually. I didn't think I'd ever see such anger in one of our sacred buildings, our national capital. I don't want to talk about politics. That's not what the show is about. But I want to talk about praying for peace. That's the topic that I chose tonight, or that Gabriel chose for us to focus on. Praying for peace. It's very important because yesterday was the opposite of peace. And I just want to put that out there that, you know, we can just, there is, you know, it's yin and yang. There's always the opposite. He says, you know, we can pivot. Last week he talked about pivoting, but we can pivot when we get so upset, or we get angry, or we get, you know, like I was saying, heartbroken. I mean, I feel heartbroken now, but yesterday I was actually angry watching it. I just got lots of emotions, and usually I don't watch TV, but sometimes I do. And I thought I would, and I did. And it's fine. I mean, we all kind of do what we do, right? We're humans, we're at home. And it was part of history, but not in such a good way. But it was something that I witnessed via C-SPAN, and I will never get that out of my head, really. So I started praying. I thought, you know, if I'm going to sit here and watch this, I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray for our leaders. I'm going to pray for our country. I'm going to pray for those people who are doing that, you know, to soften their hearts. I just was in a day of prayer yesterday and meditation, because I thought, what can I do to help from all the way over here? But I know that from my spiritual practice and my work with Gabriel is I can get into meditation. I can get into alignment with the angels. And that's very powerful when we pray for peace, if we all have the same conscious belief that we want to do. So, you know, however you pray and meditate or feel the energy of the non-physical realm, and in our show, Gabriel will give a message, so he'll get more in depth with that. But what I, you know, experienced yesterday was really feeling that I wanted to be closer to God, closer to our Creator, so that I could be in prayer for what was happening. Because it was very uncertain day. It was just, I was confused by all of it. So confused that I stayed up and watched C-SPAN until like 2 a.m, you know, and I fell asleep on Rhode Island when they were doing the count. I just couldn't stay up any longer. But that's how I was, you know, I was just like, I was in and out of consciousness with watching that yesterday. And I don't know if anybody else did that, you know, and hopefully not, but I'm at home, and, you know, because of my health, I can't leave the house. So I just, you know, I do lots of different things to keep myself busy during the day. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up, because Gabriel wanted the topic to be praying for peace, and knowing that whatever you do for your prayers, for your meditations, it's very powerful. So if you feel that there's nothing you can do, or there's something you want to do, or even if you don't even, you know, this may not even apply if you don't care, which is great, you know, whatever. But if you're affected by what happened yesterday, or affected by any other situation that's happening now, the pandemic, you know, all the numbers that are, whatever it is, there's a lot happening. Just know that your prayers are heard. You know, the prayers are heard, the angels are there ready to help, and that vibrationally, it does make a difference when we do that. If we don't, and we close off that energy, that spiritual channel, then that just will roll over us. the negative, whatever it is, that will just, that will take over. So he's saying, just, go when you can, we're human, so we're going to sulk in it for a little bit just because out of our own curiosity, and that's okay. That's who we are. Otherwise we wouldn't be here, right? But as soon as we feel that we've had enough of that, then we can go into that place of prayer and then ask to be connected with those who have the same energy and the same prayers, and that we can all uplift and make the difference. It's much better than just shutting it down, thinking there's nothing else we can do. He says it's so powerful when we open up that channel of prayer and meditation and enlightenment and light from the angelic realm, from God's realm. Just call on that energy. And he said, right now is the time to do it. And, what he's been talking about is whatever we've been working on in our spiritual practices, right now is the time to do it, to show it, to move forward with it, to manifest whatever it is that we've been putting down as our practice, whether you're a healer, whether you're a teacher, whether you're whatever it is that you do, and you're not sure if it's time. It is time. It's time to do all of it. Anything that's positive, do it. And even if it's little things like we always talk about, just paying it forward in any way that you can. Right now it's difficult because we're all staying safe, we're all at home, but whatever it is that you can bring forth in positive light to other humans, whether it's via text or phone or, doing a show like this to try to talk to people, or doing Zooms with family, whatever it is, to communicate anything that's that you can, that will help elevate each other, that will help uplift each other. It's definitely the time to do that. Otherwise, it's so easy to get stuck in the mires, he says. It's easy to, and I know that feeling. It's easy to just get stuck into, a bummed out mood or whatever. But, he says that's okay. But, and a lot of people have anxiety right now. I know I do, and depression. We all have that. And it's okay to talk about it with each other as well. I've been talking to friends and colleagues privately about how we are all feeling, and so many more than not are feeling depressed right now and anxious. They just don't want to admit it and talk about it. And they say, once we talk about it, then it feels so much better, because, then we know that we're all in this together. So it's okay to talk about it. And it's definitely wonderful to talk about it. You can talk about it with a therapist. We have, online therapists at ATS, and we'll talk more about that later, or talk about it with somebody that you trust. Talk about it with somebody that you trust, with a friend, with a family member, or maybe somebody who's feeling the same way as you. So that way you both can uplift each other and say, hey, let's pivot. Let's try to do something different today, to bring up our energy. So I hope that helps you. And that's part of the message for praying for peace. I know that when, you say something like praying for peace, Gabriel's like, blah, 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 pray for peace. Okay, we all do that. No, well, it's very important, he says. That's why it's a universal thing, peace. Just energetically, if you feel that word will help you feel calm. So it can be peace, it can be calm, whatever word that you resonate with, to just, lower the volume of everything, the noise that goes on. So when you lower the volume of the noise, you raise your vibration, and then you can do something fun. Before I started the show today, just to get into the mood, and I hadn't done this in a while, I turned on some music, some fun disco music and fun music, and I was just dancing just to kind of get my vibe going for the show and to get in alignment. So yes, I do pray and meditate and get in alignment, but sometimes, Gabriel says, in order to get in alignment, I just have to feel joy and happiness. So it's not always about just, sitting there in a serious prayer or meditation. It's also, he says, the quickest way to raise our vibration and pivot is to find a way to laugh and to have fun, even if it's by yourself, and to dance by yourself, which is the best way to dance. Because anybody who knows me, I'm not a dancer, but when I'm by myself, I'm the best dancer there is on the planet. as long as nobody sees me, then I really cut loose. So, you can all cut loose by yourself and not worry about, what it looks like. So, and then if you have courage, you can do it in front of a mirror. And that's a whole other story. Anyways, so just try to do something fun, keep the vibration high. There's a lot going on. And without waiting any longer, we're going to keep this conversation going, but I'm going to bring up my dear friend. Her name is Renee Baribeau, and she is the author of this book called Winds of Spirit. I'm hoping I'm on the right side here. Here she is. And this is a Hay House book. So she's a Hay House author. And let me bring her up, and then I'll talk about her bio. Hi, Renee.
Hey, Josie, how are you? Nice to be with you.
Nice to see
Gabriel.
you. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
We've talked about this before. I don't know if Deb can change the background. That's not our background. For some reason, I don't know where that background came from, but that one I can't quite vibe with. But anyways, sorry.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I was just like, wait a minute, that doesn't. Okay.
Maybe Gabriel was trying to get you to laugh.
Maybe he was trying to get me to laugh. I'm like, what is that? Okay. Yeah, because I do have a bit of control issues.
That's the drama part.
That's the drama part. Thinking I know what's best. I know exactly, because I'm like, what's that? Okay. But it's no accident. There are no accidents, because I'm sure it had some very beautiful, messages in it. So let me see. Renee is a wind whistler, author, and sought after inspirational speaker with a thriving international soul coaching practice. In 2005, Renee established the Desert Holistic Network in Palm Desert, California, an online regional resource directory. And Renee also served as a residential shaman at We Care Spa in the desert. And she currently works for Renewal Behavioral Health, doing marketing and outreach. And so what I'd like to talk about is, and then, your blogs, you're a regular blogger for Elephant Journal. You've just done so many wonderful things. You do workshops, you've contributed chapters to other books, and you're international. I mean, wow, what haven't you done? Can you tell us a little bit more about your network? I think that's pretty exciting. We're going to start by going, because what I did last week with my speakers, I kind of went down her bio, and I just wanted you to give us a little bit more information, like about your Desert Holistic Network. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, in 2004, I had left the desert, and like the desert reels you back in, and I was back, and I opened Desert Holistic Network in a property on Fred Waring. And at the time I thought, okay, I'm just going to open this center of light and everyone's going to come and play nice in the sandbox. Well, nobody came over and played nice in the sandbox. And what I realized as I went from my own drama to Dharma was that what I did at the time in the desert was I opened up the light. And so Desert Holistic Network was a precursor to, your spiritual awakening and everybody else's that came afterwards. And we became, the center, and all of these spokes grew up afterwards. But like most things in my life, including Winds of Spirit, I was 10 years ahead of myself. And, and then now I'm just used to it.
Well, it's interesting because we learned so much on our journey, right? With everything that all the different teachers we have and the different experiences, like what you were saying, everyone opens up another door to where we are now. So the way I feel about it is these are all my teachers. So they were experiences that were perfect for where I am now. Every single thing, if I can look at it that way, then I feel much better, because otherwise I get, disappointed in people.
Well, at the time I was carrying a Santa Claus bag of resentment around with me. However, one of the things, I brought all of these worldwide speakers through the desert in 2004 to 2008. And, we did all of these big healing ceremonies in the yard, and now it's actually a sober living for women. I don't run it, but we prepared the earth for all the healing that would happen there afterwards, and then too, but that it's still a center of healing, which is a really awesome kind of, the
way it evolved.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a wind whistler. And you're the author, of course, of this wonderful book. Can you tell me, what is a wind whistler? Can you tell us all?
How about if I show you?
Show us. Okay.
So I call to the wind, and I use these wind whistle tools, but I don't necessarily have to use the wind whistle tools. You know, as Gabriel said, we just like to amuse ourselves with tools. But
Right.
so when you call to the wind, you want to close your eyes and hear it. I was just giving you one because later we'll pull a wind card towards the end, and
Oh, I like that. I felt it right here.
We'll invite that in.
Okay, that's beautiful. So can you tell us about your book, The Winds of Spirit?
Sure. So when I wrote a book called The Shaman Chef, How Cooking Saved My Life, and it was a practice book, and it's still not published, and I probably, by the time I write it, I don't even know if I'll write it now, but I wanted to write a book. I was going to write one of those coaching books, you know, so that gives you notoriety and people think that you're legitimate. And, you know, they say, you know, that thing where write a book this weekend type of thing. And lo and behold, some prophecy that had been given to me in around 2004, 2005 was I was given this name in Chile by a medicine woman. And she told me, it kind of loosely translated triangle to the sound between passing things. She said it's a huge destiny that you need to grow up into. And if you think about what the wind is that. But the wind book, it started to reveal itself to me. And then I followed the little breadcrumbs. And all of a sudden I brought in a healing system that hadn't been on the planet in over like 12,000 years. And I have to say that I used to make fun of channelers. So when I say it's hard for you know.
I mean, I never did know what they were, right? Until I started doing it, basically.
Yeah. So, but it's a book that when about 12,500 years ago, when religion divided us into people who spoke the same religion, we lost our way with the wind. And so it is actually a book for these times that we're in. We're in between epochs. And as we're in between epochs, we're going to have to remember our old ancient tools. Otherwise, people are going to be lost and they're going to have no way through this darkness like you were speaking about yesterday, because this is one epoch dissolving and the new hasn't formed itself yet. And so this dissolution has to happen, as uncomfortable, disheartening, and revolutionary that it is. It's just the sign of these times. But just know we've all signed up to be here right now. So there is no by chance. Right. You're here because you're supposed to be bringing this into the next set of circumstances.
Into the next generation, basically, right?
Well, no, we're talking about the next 10,000 years. We're not talking. We're at a doorway where 2012, and now we've just people are calling we've entered the age of Aquarius. When I wrote the book, I wasn't thinking that Aquarius is wind, air, but that this is a book for the next couple hundred years. This is a healing system that people are going to use, long after I'm gone.
So now we're speaking eternal language.
What's that?
We're speaking eternal language, basically, in a sense. I mean, because what I saw when you were saying that is that, we're all eternal beings, and that's what Gabriel says. So where we are in this moment that we chose to come, every time we do that, there is a purpose. And so we're helping with elevating. Right now, we're basically boasting. I keep getting this thing like we're boasting, we're elevating. So, and like you said, when you elevate or you're changing, you kind of, that whole transition gets difficult. It's almost like birthing a child. So it's like, that's where we're at right now, but for another, to get to another level of wherever we're supposed to be. And I know that sounds a little, but it's, Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's pretty cool. So you brought in a major tool, just like with my messages from Gabriel are here to help to kind of coach people. I don't know about coaching, use the word, but just to share the messages of enlightenment like you are. We're all here to do that right now. For those of us who are open to getting, to doing this, we all have the capability to share this beauty with everybody, and for those who are struggling, who don't understand that that's what we're going through because they're so upset about it or sad or whatever it is. And we go back and forth in that as humans. So we're here to help elevate each other. But
you have a choice. You can you can be stuck in the mire.
Yeah.
Be stuck in the conflict.
Yeah.
My recent thing is if you go to the grocery store, right? This is what people are missing. Go to the grocery store right now, Trader Joe's or wherever you want to go, and look in line and just know that the person standing in front of you doesn't agree with you. The person who's standing in front of them might agree with you. And every other person you meet right now doesn't agree with you. Sure. And in this country. And so our job right now is as a healer, as a mystic, as a leader, is to help people find what's common. What is the common language we can speak together? Because there's so much disagreement. What do we talk about that's similar?
Okay. All right. That's good. Now, Jim's asking a question. He says, what is the best way to embrace the wind to be more tranquil, uplifted?
Well, one thing you can do is you can take a daily wind walk. And that's just about starting to have a relationship with the wind. You go to the door, you say, hey, I really need to be a little more peaceful today. Wait till the wind kisses you on your cheek and then take a walk. And then you start to notice the branches of the trees moving and the leaves shimmering and I happen to be up on an island, so the water, and you start to pay attention to that nature has the answers.
That sounds cool.
When you're aligned, there is no other moment. Like, for example, yesterday, you could either be taking a wind walk or watching CNN.
Right, or C-SPAN or
whatever that you're watching. And to me, when I take a wind walk, I knew what was going to happen yesterday.
Right.
There was no question in my mind that there was going to be an uprising of some sort. And, do I think it's over? No. But if I look at my own self in nature and in my own self in the wind, I'm perfectly okay in that moment. I have food to eat. I have clothes. Yeah. I have shelter. I'm of service in the world. And it's not to say that I'm putting my blinders on and putting my head in the sand like an ostrich. No, I just helped 500 people over the holidays keep candles burning and become of service, because if we put our attention there, that's what's going to grow. If we put our attention to the candles that we have burning for peace, that's what's going to grow. So you have to look and say, where am I putting my attention? So I'm putting my attention to the wind and to nature. Yes,
that's beautiful. And now you're up in Washington, I understand. So you're right in the middle of nature.
Purposely.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it.
It was cracking when you said, well, what haven't you done? And I thought, well, I've never built a house, and so I'm doing that.
Wow. In nature.
I had never built from scratch. Yes, I bought a piece of property that overlooks the setting sun over the harbor.
Wow.
And that's because I've worked hard and I keep showing up of service, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I said to Spirit, I need a place where I can retreat in nature. And, a lot of hard work, 2 jobs kind of thing. And here I am, where it's all lining up that I can work my day job, work my wind clan work, and build a house.
Wow, that sounds great. Are you taking pictures and as you're going along so everybody could see the progress, all your friends? I think that sounds really cool.
Yeah, so far I just keep showing everyone, this is my view. This is my view.
Okay.
I have to pinch myself every single day. This is my view. It's a dream come true.
That's wonderful. Congratulations, because you're following your wind. You're following your spirit is what you're doing. Like you described the wind walk. You have faith. So you followed it and it took you there. Jim says, thank you for that. He said that was great. That's helpful. Now, how do you become a shaman? What was your journey for becoming a shaman?
I was the reluctant shaman. I was there like, spirit had to trick me. I had to get attracted to one of my teachers. So then I followed the teacher. And in the process of following the teacher around the world, I had an awakening and actually had which I didn't even realize until last year, that I had like a real shamanic experience where I was dismembered sitting in a lecture one day where someone was in the front of the room talking about long distance healing, not doing long distance healing. And I was taken on this journey where I was actually ripped apart, gutted, and then sewn back together with arrows. And my friends literally had to carry me from the room and put me into bed, where I was then for several days. And one of the dreams that I had was that I was taken to the garden and I was interviewed and I was accepted for the job. But I didn't believe that kind of thing really happened, where I was opened up, all the stuff was taken out of me, I was sewn shut with arrows. But it was like I had a mass hysterectomy, and I was literally, I tried moving things and doing things because I'm there like, this can't be real, this is not real. And I literally was confined to bed for several days, healing from this initiation that just happened one day.
And how long ago was that?
About 23 years ago.
Wow. And then you knew then, and then you kept
I didn't know.
You didn't know what that was all about?
No, in fact, all of a sudden somebody calls me up one day and said, hey, I hear you're a shaman and we're looking for one. And they're like, well, who told you that? So I was at, We Care Spa doing healings, and I'm there like, because I had no clue. And then when Sandra Ingerman said, hey, my spirit guides told me to call you up and do a podcast with you, I'm there like, why would one of the most well-respected shamans in the world want to call me and do a podcast with me? Now we're 2 years into it. And it took me about a year to realize that I was sitting, equally. It wasn't like here she is and here I am, that I had been selected at the next layer and the next level of my experience. And then, when the wind started speaking to me, or, that was first, it was like I didn't really realize that I was bringing in a body of work that had been missing off the planet for thousands and thousands of years.
Wow, what an interesting story, and the way you worded as a reluctant shaman. I think for a lot of us that are, especially professionals that I've spoken to and I've had as guests on my show, we're all kind of reluctantly bringing forward our spiritual work. And when I say reluctantly, it's because it's something we've kind of kept in the closet. I think I had a guest that said she came out of the closet twice because of her spiritual work that was here, about a month ago. But she, we all just kind of, and then we see each other in the professional realm and we don't really know, but we know, don't we? I think we know when we see each other as well. But, we don't talk about it that much because we're still figuring out what that means. And I think a lot of people that watch the show are in that place, because I've talked to some of them, our viewers, and their questions that come up sometimes is, how do you know? How do you know when spirit's talking to you? How do you know when, the angels are with you? How do you know that you're what it is that God wants you to do? I think that's a big question that everybody has. So,
and you can still doubt it. Like when I was writing Winds of Spirit, there was like, I have this bag of a sack of wind cards and there would be like, well, I'm not putting those cards in there. And sure enough, it'd be like the next 3 cards I'd pull out of the sack were the ones I was taking out of there, like, no, they're going in. Like there was winds I didn't want to include in the book, and they come right out of the wind sack. Is like, what's the next wind? Okay. Wow. And it's just like, what's the next indicated step? And I had to be shown 100 times that the winds had my back before I really knew the winds have my back. You know, in the wind, let's just talk about the wind. Holy Spirit is a wind. Ruach is a wind. Nirvana is a wind. Om is the wind. They're all wind.
Well, wind is all energy. It's part of the air. I know that just my whole life, I love the wind. I would always be, a windy day to me was my favorite. I just felt so good, cleansing, especially being raised in Southern California with the smog. If there was a windy day, it would clear all the smog out and you could see the mountains. I'd be like, oh, thank God for the wind.
Well, you're to the rear. When I was told I was writing a book about the wind, I threw my hands up in the air and they're like, you want me to write a book about what? I said, people hate the wind, and you want me to write a book, and you're telling me that, it's all going to make sense in 10 years? And I was like, okay, well, whatever, know.
Yeah.
And it was a forerunner. Like 3 years later, now people are starting to buy the book more. And now people are starting to really, like I was just telling you, I'm starting a wind mastery program next year. Yeah. And there's a solid group of people who have signed up because not only do they want the wind practices, they want to teach it to other people.
Wow.
And so like anyone who's just starting out on something, trust me, if I had that experience 23 years ago, it's starting to align even more now than ever.
Right. Well, that sounds great. Do you want to share with us a little bit more about your wind?
Oh, I could pull a wind for us so you can feel the energetic of a wind. Okay, I'm going to pull
the energetic of the wind.
Okay, I'm going to pull a wind card for this experience right here. So just think this is a wind that your audience can use and call upon. Not only the quality, but the wind itself. Try it out, okay?
Okay.
Oh, well, this is kind of an interesting wind to come up today because I rarely get this wind. It's Enlil, and it's the Mesopotamian wind, and it's about destiny and divine timing. Now, understand in Mesopotamia, Enlil is the wind god that when human beings got too noisy and too disruptive and too overpopulated, Enlil came through and just wiped out humanity. This is not the first time we've been standing at this doorway where we get to choose. So the fact that Enlil's coming up today and trusting divine timing is that we're, speaking of pivot, we're at a pivotal moment in our time that do you want to be part of a solution or do you want to keep fighting with everyone?
Right.
Do you want to come together or do you want to, get in those punches? Do you have to get in the last word or do you want to get along? So let's call to Enlil and let's feel what that energy feels like of Enlil coming through, clearing out that energy of disruption and feeling what peace feels like.
Feeling what peace. Perfect. So that's the perfect.
3 times.
Okay.
So close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And on the first wind breath, really see yourself cleansing, bringing in the wind and taking it down through your I call it a spin axis, through the center of your core of your being down into the earth. The second one, merge with Enlil and understand what that power feels like to be part of a solution. And on the third one, we're going to connect ourselves and find what we have in common as community. Now connect with Enlil as part of the solution. And now we're going to create a worldwide circle because the wind you breathe out today goes around the world in a few short days. So breathe out peace.
Oh, thank you. That was absolutely perfect for our topic tonight, of course. The angels have been working since before our show through our texts. That was beautiful. I felt that peace. I love what you said about when we breathe out, that our breath goes around the world. So if we can consciously breathe, and for me right now with my lung issues, it's all about my breath. So I'll remember that as I'm breathing, to breathe
Right.
out the peace and breathe in the healing and all of that. Beautiful.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that experience. That was absolutely wonderful. And it's a really good time precursor for me to give a message from Gabriel. He loves to be invited into our show for a few minutes. So I'm going to bring him in to join and talk about our topics tonight. And then afterwards, if anybody has questions, we can do a question and answer too. Good evening, everybody. It is us, Gabriel. Hello, Renee. We love you. Thank you for being on our show. As Josie says, we love it when she invites us to be a guest on our own show. Now, as you know, we speak through her fluently when she's not in, but now she's been courageous enough, as you said, the courage to step out a bit and to speak, allowing us to speak through her in a true fashion of what you would call channel. All these are only words, as you know. All of this energy, between the physical realm and the non-physical realm, it's a very thin veil, if you will. We're right here with you all the time, so you feel us, you see us, and you are teaching about the energy of the wind, which is the air that we breathe. That's so powerful that humans breathe. We say we, but we mean you, that you as humans breathe. Without the breath, without the wind, without the air, what do you have on the planet? Nothing. You cannot survive without it. So to have a relationship with this air, a relationship with the wind and the breath, the depth and breadth of who you are as humans, is exactly what your book has been written for. So that you don't just bypass knowing that this is, if you could see the energy fields, if you could see all that's really in the wind, it would be overwhelming for you if you saw everything that was there, that's truly there. But what we encourage is for you to just feel it energetically and receive the messages from the divine through that energy, because everything is energy. Whether you feel the cleansing of it, like Josie said, she would always feel cleansing with the wind, or whether you notice that there is no wind, and then there's no wind and it's stillness, and then you say, where's the wind? Where is the wind? Why is it not speaking to me? Why is it so quiet? Now all of a sudden it's muggy and there's all these gnats around me. Where's the wind? I want the wind to move everything around for me. So the wind is most important. There's always air flowing through, but there are times when it's very quiet. And then there are times when it's speaking to you. So yes, thank you for putting the book together and for teaching the most importance of the air that you breathe and how it affects your body, your physical body. It goes through you, and without the breath, Josie knows what it's like to feel without the breath sometimes, with this melody that she has that will be healed. But she has a melody right now that will be healed, and it all has to do with her breath, with clearing all of her energy field. And so we encourage everybody to, as you're in this transition, as you're growing as a human, as you're growing as a human race right now, because everything is all growth, it's beauty, it is beautiful if you can see that. Then feel the wind, feel the love, the fingertips, the tips, the kisses of the wind, the kisses, they will kiss you, the wind, the energy, we will kiss you. We will kiss you. We will pat you on the head. We will go like this. We will do that. You'll know. We will speak to you. We will speak to you through the wind. And then you can ask us, what do you want? What do you want from me? And then we'll show you some more of what we want from you. So it's like following the leaves, the broken branches, however you want to call it, following the golden cord, but use the wind to guide you. Sometimes it'll be flowing this way and you feel like you're going to knock this way, you're going to knock backwards. If you feel like you're going to be knocked backwards, then we're probably saying, don't do it. Think about it first. Don't do it. You're going this way, you're going that way. If you feel like you're being pulled towards something, then take that as a message that you're being pulled towards something. What is it you're being pulled towards? We love that you are giving this messages and that humans are open to it now, as you say. All of this work has been, each one of you, or you wouldn't be watching the show, you wouldn't be listening right now if you didn't know that you have a purpose here. Everybody knows that they knew what they were coming into, as you say, to this time and space and reality where you are, and that it's time to uplift each other and do that beautiful work of which you were born, of which you came into this physical realm, decided to do it again. You decided to come back again. So you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Well, right now, that's why you're home, because we're telling you what you're supposed to do. You can listen now. Take this time to listen to us, to all that is, and move forward so that when everything opens back up, you're going to be ready to go towards your destiny, towards your divine destiny. This is all about your divine destiny. Everything that's happening now is divine destiny for everybody. And it will be absolutely beautiful for you. We promise you that. And we do not lie. We promise you that you are all on your way, everybody, to your divine destiny. It's up to you how you want to take that route. It's up to you how you will. It's all going to happen anyways. So if you want to take the easy route, you choose it. If you want to take the hard route, you choose it. You have that choice, which is beautiful in itself, yes? That you have the choice with no judgment to do whatever it is that you want. But we recommend, highly recommend, that you follow the divinity, that you go the easy route, that you take the path of least resistance. It'll be much simpler for you to get to where you're going if you take the path of least resistance. However, as humans, you sometimes choose the path of most resistance. It's fine. We're here waiting for you to decide. Right? Yes. You decide which way you want to go. It's all up to you. All of you. And we love you dearly, and we love Josie for doing this. We get very intense with the energy, so she has to drink more water. We thank you for joining our show, Renee, and we thank you all for watching us and to joining us, and we hope you have questions for Josie that we can answer as a follow-up. And we are complete.
They always make me laugh.
They're very funny.
They are funny. Josie and I have sat in the office together, and I will tell when Gabriel comes in, and all of a sudden we'll just sit there and laugh and laugh. I mean, one time I was snorting. I was laughing so hard when Gabriel was like telling me to take myself.
I know, it's so funny. It's so funny, and you're ready for that. I mean, it's whenever Gabriel's around, he is very funny. He wants us to be uplifted. Like I said, this dancing before before the show is just like, I'm like, Gabriel, should I meditate? He's like, no, put the disco on.
I wanted to tell you something about that. And if you think when you're dancing and you don't want anyone to see you when you're dancing, close your eyes. Mm-hmm. And no one will see you. Right.
Well, I was alone. So,
no, but I'm saying if you're afraid of dancing in front of other people,
in front of
your eyes, and then no one will see you.
That's right. Nobody can see you when your eyes are closed. That's absolutely right. Nobody can see me. My eyes are closed. I'm not here.
That's right. That goes for singing too.
Okay, we have a couple messages here from, let's see, Chelsea. Chelsea. She says, Renee, you are so amazing. Thank you for your pure love and light and sharing it with the world, as it is greatly needed during these times. And I'll tell you, my daughter Chelsea is home with COVID right now. So everybody pray for Chelsea. And she's on the, she's been about a week in. So yes. So I love you, Chelsea. I'm so glad that you're watching. And I know Renee loves you too.
I'd like a candle for you, Chelsea.
Oh, great. She's going to, okay. And then Lynn Beal says, I can't read because I have another little banner on there. She says, do you know Esther Hicks? She also counts. Absolutely. I mean, we love Esther. I got introduced to Esther from Denise Klein after Denise gave me The Secret like 18 years ago, however long, whenever that came out. And then I said, boy, I couldn't get enough of that. I just was like, oh, this is amazing, right? Because I was very much into my Christian beliefs, and which is great, but I just knew there was more. Right? And so I said, is there more of this? And she said, yeah. And so she gave me the Abraham tapes with Esther, and I resonated immediately. I couldn't get enough of that, and I know that helped me with this channeling, because I felt such a connection immediately. I just couldn't stop listening, and just, yes, I definitely know Esther Hicks. I love her. And sometimes when I get into a funk, I'll put it on just so I can hear Abraham, because that whole energy of Abraham and Gabriel, I mean, it's all the same energy. It's very enlightened. For me, it is. It's the same vibe. So let's see. Oh, Louisa says, we have to remember to laugh and enjoy the moments. Yes. Luis, are you here with us in the green room? Yeah, I think you are, or you're on the Facebook. Very good. I'm so glad that you're here. Yes, we do have to laugh and enjoy that. And I think we're missing that since we're not around each other right now. I'm missing that. Just remember, we were talking the other day about the conference and how we were, and I had that dream about we were all together, and then I woke up and we weren't, and I started crying. And then I thought, well, maybe I was crying because in my dream we were all young. I'm like, am I really this old? I was like at 27 in my dream. We're all in our 20s still.
We wanted to do the conference live.
Mm-hmm.
I as a shaman, as a healer, as an event planner, and some of you don't know, we're talking about the Finding Freedom LGBT.
Yes, which I wanted you to talk about, our Finding Freedom LGBTQ conference.
So that's also a spiritual experience. 6 years ago, my boss said, create this conference, and I thought it was going to be a one and done. Like, what are we going to talk about year after year?
That was from Michael's house. And
like, Josie, that every year it's gotten more and more. I believe that gender is one of those next spiritual frontiers. It's a dissolving, just like we're at the end of the epoch dissolving. This whole notion of how we've held gender for 12,000 years is now dissolving as well. Mm-hmm. And so, but we couldn't do it in person. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an event in the fall in person, but we're going to have this awesome virtual event coming up from January 20th to the 23rd. Mm-hmm. And
we have the link. Debbie will put the link onto the comments, and it's right here on the ticker tape. But if you go onto that website that she puts and you put Josie H, you'll get $50 off of the ticket. So it's Finding Freedom. It's wonderful. For professionals who need continuing education, you get 25 CEUs. So that's a really good weekend.
Lynn feels great. She's in there putting it in the chat too. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah,
Lynn works for Michael's house now, and she's awesome too. She's really helped help them keep that image up of the holding the conference as well. Yeah, but we have awesome speakers, and this year our goal was to reach out to the minorities that we'd missed and the underserved and all of that. And so this year we met that. We have a trans Saturday where it's all about transgender issues, and so this applies to all of us. It's not like something over like the wind. It's not separate. This is our reality of where we are now. And so if you have any kind of a treatment center, or you're a therapist, or you just want to know more about how do I understand the LGBTQ plus I community, this is a great conference to come to. And if you do need CEs, there's 25 CEs. Right.
Yes. And that's really good. Let's see. I'm going to read to you some of our comments that we have, Renee. Okay. From our friends. I have Louisa, who's in our green room. And then Carly says, praying for Chelsea, praying for peace in our nation and healing for our planet. May the God of love and light answer our prayers. Yes. Thank you so much, Carly. And then I have from Renee Popovitz, our dear friend in Chicago, the other Renee, my two Renees. You guys get to meet. Renee, you are right. The wind does have your back. what is interesting is 3 days ago, I brought out to my dining room painting, because she's an artist, she's an intuitive artist, painting number 131, which is entitled, I've Got Your Back. I did not know why. There is a beautiful woman with golden lines behind her back. I always thought they were winds, but I now have learned from you, it is wind. Thank you for giving me the truth. We'll send you a copy of painting. Thank you for sharing your blessings and wisdom. Thank you, Renee. That's beautiful. And she has over 200 intuitive paintings, and she'll paint them. And then later on, like a time like now, she'll meet somebody and go, oh, that's what that painting was about that I painted like last year. Or I'll be with her and she'll paint something and I'll be like, and then I'll see a painting and it's like, wow, Renee, we went there. So it's really interesting to watch and to and then, besides that, there's all kinds of other stuff that comes up in her paintings, but it's, and she's putting her book together. So she'll send you that painting that,
I can't wait.
That represents you, which is very cool. That's great. Well, this is amazing. We didn't talk too much about our work in recovery. So, your program is mental health at ATS. We're the sponsors. We do outpatient mental health and substance abuse. So, you're with new programs now, and that's good for you, right?
Yeah, I want to say that one of the things is we're in the midst of change. And so I really believe that mental health and substance abuse is going to continue to rear its head this year. And so people are going to really need what we do now, Josie, more than ever, because people could understand 1 year of being locked down. Okay, we can get to the end of the year and this is going to be over. And it's not.
Right. Well, we thought we were just going to be locked down for a couple of weeks or a month.
Well, I don't know how long, but I
know, but it's going into years now. Yeah.
Spirituality is like, can I endure a little bit more? And you have to remember that God never gives you really more than you can handle. But I think collectively right now, with all of the tension and things like that, I think people really think that they're at the end of what they can handle. Mm-hmm. And so I'm working for a Renewal Health Group in Montero Behavioral Health. And it's a young company, 7 years old. And these people, what is really great, there's two young men and they're spiritual. Like when I go for a job interview, it's like, well, I bring the wind with me. It's not like I left it home today. Oh, what do you do? Well, I'm a wind whistler. Oh, and I happen to market treatment at the same time. And they're rolling their eyes, but they hired me anyway.
They're like, very cool. Okay.
When they are, you know what? And it's no different than one of my bosses is a rabbi, and so we connect on that spiritual level.
That's right.
Because in you too, like if you're holding the spirit first, then we're going to do the absolute best healing that we can do with the people who show up, because the perfect right people are going to show up at your treatment center and my treatment center. And, because we're holding the light. We're like the hermit in the tarot deck, we're the way showers.
Right. Yeah, we are doing the work and we've been doing it for many years. So I want to thank you for being on the show tonight, and I hope to see you again. And I'll have you on the Recovery View show in a couple of months when you'll write an article for us. And I always love having you and seeing you. And even if it's on Zoom for now, and we live in the same town, except now you're up in Washington, which is great. Good for you. Blessings with your home, and send me pictures as you're putting your, let's see, what would you start with your foundation? When you put your foundation down, then let me know. I think that's the first start, right? To building a home.
What you think, but there's a lot of steps before the foundation. Okay. Oh, yeah, like access permits.
Oh, the permits.
Today I had to get access.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to building a house on raw property, but that's a dream for many. So I'm glad that you're able to do that and build your dream home. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to you now. We're going to play our little commercial for our sponsor, ATS, and then we'll say a goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much. And now we will put up our ATS.
My name is Christopher Zwick. I've struggled with addiction for all of my adult life. I went from alcohol to opiates to heroin and meth. I spiraled down until I ended up in the hospital, malnourished and suicidal. I I was the shell of the man I used to be. Then, I found hope. I found ATS. Advanced Therapeutic Services provided me with a safe environment and the tools necessary to recover. I learned how to address the root issues behind the addiction. I now have over a year clean. I owe my life to ATS.
And I always want to thank Christopher for that. That is, he did it all on his own when he says that, but I appreciate his testimonial. And that's Debbie's son, who helps us with our behind the scenes. And I'm so thrilled that he's doing wonderful. So if anybody needs any help out there, you can always go to our website, Addiction Therapeutic Services, ATSIOP.com. We do telehealth for mental health and substance abuse and take most insurances. And then for mental health, if you can reach out to definitely Renee's website as well, because they do the mental health residential. But either way, you can go to call Josie, call our number, and we'll get you some help. And I just want to thank Renee again for coming on tonight. Thank everybody for being here. Happy New Year, and keep the peace, the prayers for peace going. And remember, let's have fun this week. Gabriel says that our homework is to have fun. Whatever it is, even if it's for 10 minutes a day, let's laugh, and that'll help us out, and that'll help, everybody around us. So thank you very much. Many blessings. And until next week, we'll see you then.